Okay, there we go. Oh, oh. Hey, blonde artist, how you doing? How's the art going? How is the art going? I find myself in a situation that has very little to do with art. It has everything to do with me trying to fucking figure out how to goddamn deal with some deal with my notifications. Art's on hold. Moved out of state finally. Oh. Okay, you're moving. You're moving. I don't know. Well, I mean, like, I guess that means art's on hold. You know, I'm one of those guys that takes me so long to do a piece. Like, if I don't work on it for a few days, like I just don't. I feel like an art on hold is like a couple of weeks to a month, which maybe is what's going on. Now I think about it since you're moving. What state are you moving to? Yeah, I think I'm gonna be leaving a lot of Discord servers. Um, okay, I'm not gonna leave my own server. Who's this? Is this Vampy? Yes, Kitty. Yeah, Moonlight Kingdom is Vampy. I'm not leaving that. Um, yeah, not leaving Val's. Not leaving Penny for Tail. Mass appeal. All messages. The gory hole. All messages. I'm not gonna leave that. This one I can leave because I'm on. I know everyone. Meow. Hold on. Meow. Hold on. Meow. Meow. Go. Get thee hence, felonious feline. Damn cat. Oh, hey, Zeke the Ghoul, Cave Witch, Chrome Bison, cute little cat. Let's see. Moved to Oregon. Oh, did you move to Portland or somewhere nearby Portland or somewhere just completely different? Let's see. Finally out of the Mojave Desert to the place that inspired Gravity Falls. True enough. Oh, man. Oh, I know. Cat's like, let me out. Let me out. And I'm like, no. Felonious feline. Can't do that. So I saw The Long Walk today. That was a really good movie. We'll be doing a vlog on that soonish. Me and the horror guru. Lots to talk about. Really good movie. They changed the ending, but that's okay. Got a question for me in Hangouts. Hang on. Let me finish what I'm doing here first. Okay, now what the fuck is this? All right. No, I'm gonna leave this server. I don't know what it is. If I regret it, I regret it. Now what is this? Welcome. Okay, cool. What's the? I don't know what this is either. So I'm gonna get rid of it. God, I got too many. I have too many fucking servers I'm a part of. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know what this is. Oh my god, this server's dead. Leaving this. Yeah. No, I think I'll keep this for reasons, but I don't know. I don't want to be part of this one. I'll leave that one. And yeah, I'm not talking to anyone here. That's that one I could see being useful. All right. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's all I need to like get rid of. So let's go back to my things and general hangout. If Mike Wazowski nods, he is also twerking. Sir, this is a Wendy's. Thank you, cute little cat girl. Thank you. Thank you. I wanna thank you for that. Important knowledge. Ah, at home of the last blockbuster. Oh my god. Oh my god. So you moving into an apartment or house or Well, no, you have moved. Like you're already there, right? Yeah, that's the well, mm, yeah, yeah. Oh man, had a bad thing happen today. Um, which was I don't know if you know, but I've been having problems with this one tooth. Like the filling came out, they put the filling back in, and then it started to hurt for some reason, and they found that there was an abscess back there, so they drilled it out, gave me a root canal. Most painful root canal I've ever had, by the way. Um, all the others were like not comfortable, but they didn't like hurt. This one hurt. And they were like, okay, so they filled it up and we're like, okay, we'll get you a permanent cap. We'll work on getting you that permanent cap. Like, here's the, blah, blah, blah. Whole thing fell off. My face is marred. I've got a gap tooth pumpkin grin. I've got meth mouth. I haven't even done that much meth. It's fucking annoying. You know. Plus, I'm supposed to be filming a big thing like next week. So now I got to see where they can put that in a little, like, sooner. But I have to wait till tomorrow to actually call them. Like, well, the root canal was done, and I was like, okay, cool, it's done. Let's just. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I mean, implants are expensive. Like that's always a possibility. Like that's all. The good thing about implants is like it's never too late for them as long as you got a jaw. You know, um, you know, but I'm not sure I want to be in a camera for a Kickstarter video with like one rotten tooth showing. So we'll see how it goes. Like I still have the bit that broke off, which is like most of it. So if nothing else, I could always just get some dental adhesive and just I'll probably just stay in for filming. No, I'm not getting dentures. No way. No way. Getting dentures changes you. Yeah, the Countess is actually having some sharp canines implanted. You know, um, she's getting everything replaced. She has to get everything replaced. So like she's having vampire fangs put in. You know, it's the consequences of aging. You know, I don't look that old, but like you look at my teeth, you can see my age. You know, how did theirs change you? You don't like smiling that much because it feels like your teeth are going to come out. Also, it changes the way you talk. Like there's more of a lisp. It's not like a regular lisp, but you can kind of like hear. How old am I? I'm 50. I've been around. Um, yeah, I've been. When people talk about when I talk about the 80s and 90s, I was there. Um, I remember the good times. I remember the bad times. Yeah. So like you don't like smiling as much. You don't want to necessarily, and because of that, you don't necessarily want to be around people. Because you can't be as free with your mouth as you normally are. You don't realize how like free you are with your mouth and your expressions. Um, I'm like having like permanent implants is not like having dentures. It's not like having dentures at all. Go to Canada, see what they could do. That's an option. Veneers, I don't know if veneers would be an option for me. I could ask, but like I'm pretty sure implants is the direction I need to be going in. Yeah, well, let's do a quick little thing. Veneers versus implants. Understanding the key differences. Okay. There's a possibility of rejecting the implant. Um, yeah, because they are part of you. Implants eliminate the discomfort of removable dentures. Dental implants look and feel like real teeth. Um, with poor fitting dentures, the teeth can slip with the mouth, causing you to mumble or slur your words. Dental implants allow you to speak without the worry that the teeth might slip. Um, let's see. What are the difference between dental implants and veneers? Cost. Dental implants and veneers could both be expensive dental treatment. Um, Another major difference is longevity. Dental implants are permanent solution. Yeah, veneers are primarily used for cosmetic purposes to improve appearance of teeth that are discolored, misshapen, or have gaps between them. While they also can also improve the function of teeth to some extent, their main focus is on enhancing aesthetics. Um, yeah, well, here's the thing: like they're gonna put a cap on this baby. You know, what happened to my tooth? Well, what I have very bad teeth. I've always had very bad teeth. But most recently, what happened is um, I had a filling in the tooth that came out, and I went and got it replaced. A few days later, I developed an abscess. So they drilled in, had to do a root canal in order to assess in order to address the fucking abscess. Um, I came home, like everything was okay, and then it just, while I was eating, the filling just fell off, and the filling at that point was most of the tooth. So now we got to do something a little bit more permanent, which we were already gonna do. Yeah, implants are a better option than veneers overall. They're just way more expensive. Yeah, late mom had to get dentures. It very much affected her speech. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the kind of shit we're trying to avoid. You know, yeah. Dental shit is not cheap. It is not cheap. Like, just getting the cap for this thing is going to be like, I don't know what it's going to be total out of pocket, but it could be as much as like $1,500. You know, veneers are like cosmetic tooth enhancement. Like, basically what they do is they grind down all your teeth and then give you these like this like permanent bridge, you know, that's supposed to stay in there. And it's like it's like a more permanent denture, but they're not as solid as dental implants. Like, dental implants are like really solid. Hey, horse struck. You got a failed root canal pulled out of my bottom. Oh, ooh, a failed root canal. What the fuck? How did it fail? Gotta get a new dentist. That's not that. I mean, root canals are painful, but they're fairly routine. Was the tooth just that more far gone than they realized, or like what? Cute little cat girl. I don't have any teeth at all. Wait, what? What do you mean you don't have any teeth at all? What happened? I'm gonna have to wait. I need the explanation on that one. I mean, how old are you? I always assumed you were like maybe 20s, maybe 30s at most. Yeah, oh yeah, cute little cat girl. Elaborate. Didn't take care of my teeth. I need a root canal, but my cheap ass insurance will cover it, so they opted to remove all my teeth. What? What? I think you can sue someone over that. Like, how many teeth did you have at the time? Because, like, pulling a tooth out is still like a couple $100, and a root canal is not more than 1,000. Like, I would have so gotten a second opinion on that. Like, I mean, it's not totally outside of the realm of possibility. I had a buddy had all his teeth removed, even though I was like, don't do it. Don't do it. Even if you only got 4 teeth in your head, trust me, you want them. The root canal split while in your jaw still, and they pulled the sucker out later. Oh, wow. Damn. Yeah, yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure you could sue over that. I did have like 2 teeth removed, but yeah, apparently damage was too extensive to save my teeth, so I have to remove all. Also, I'm 35. What? At 35? Whoa! So do you wear dentures? Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, I tried wearing dentures. They were just too uncomfortable to wear. I ate most food without them. Yeah, see, that's why I don't want dentures. If you would rather just not have teeth than wear dentures, like that's like a red flag. Where, Kilo Cat Girl, where are you located? Because I'm like, I'm imagining like a coal town in West Virginia. Yeah, and meanwhile in Japan, they're trying to they're figuring out how to regrow teeth because apparently that can Wildwood, New Jersey. Well, that's not like but that's not too far from civilization. Oh, so you opted to get that, just have that thing yanked out of your skull. Yeah, yeah. If it's causing that much trouble, you know. Damn. I love how American eyes and teeth are considered accessory organs. Yeah, I know, right? Insurance sucks ass, but at least I'm thankful they give it for all my diabetes medication and such. Well, I mean, yeah, that's one thing. Thank you for the donation, Delta. Well, I'm doing all right.
Heyo Jack, hope you've been doing well.
Got major dental problems, but apparently not as bad as some people. You know, dang. Yeah, sorry if I'm like a little flabbergasted there, cute little cat girl, but whoa. Can I help me get my dad's military benefits in order to get implants? Yeah, yeah. Implants are still really expensive, but yeah, you'll want them. Oh, for Babylon. Thank
For
you.
Babylon.
Yes. Added another added another artist, have them working on a major piece. So like, yeah, every little bit will help. Will help us hopefully hit that October Kickstarter, the October deadline for the Kickstarter. Yikes. Yeah, it's kind of it's weird to think about like how much work I put into this thing. But in order to get my dad's military friends, I'm gonna have to try and find a representative to go through the process, get my dad's medical records certificate to go. So fun! Oh, fun. I take it you're finding, uh, you're looking for like an advocate or something, like someone who can help you through that system. Oh man. Um, Selena, I don't know who are you asking about, me or cute little cat girl? For me, yeah, I could. I don't know when I'll get it repaired, but at the very latest, it will be the mid of October. But that was before the thing fell out, and my dentist is pretty responsive, so there's a chance I could just this thing will be handled by like the end of the week. Um, it'll just suck for my pocketbook. Dad was in Vietnam in the Navy, and he got secondhand exposure. Agent Orange. Ooh, yikes! Yikes! Speaking of Vietnam, that's what the long walk is all about. It's all a metaphor for Vietnam. Man. And I had someone tell me that there was this review of the long walk. It was like, I don't know why didn't Stephen King talk about, the effect on the Vietnamese natives? And I'm like, dude, I do not think you want any white man writing that book. He's talking about the effect it had on Americans because he's an American. And he understands that. I don't think he understands being a Vietnamese person during that era in Vietnam at all. And what a stupid thing to fucking criticize it for, because the whole thing is a metaphor for military exploitation. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. It's about military exploitation in the American draft. That's what it's about. Man, I don't know, man. The culture is going crazy, and I think he died in his apartment before he could claim them. Oh, geez. Well, yeah, do what you can do. Do what you can do. Am I planning on seeing it? I have seen it. I just saw it today, actually. I will, Jack. Lots of people say I have a very good case to claim. My dad's military benefits. Mixed neighbor even says try to claim my dad's SSI. Yeah. Yeah, get what you can get. Get what you can get, because life ain't any easier. Well, I mean, in a way it is, but in a fucked up way, we've made it harder. I don't know why we have to keep doing that. Seems stupid to me. Ugh, excuse me. No. Oh, man. Yeah, because people believe that struggle is good, and I struggled through this. Associate you. No, that's a way you get through it. That doesn't necessarily mean it's good. Maybe I'm crazy for knowing that. Man is crazy for knowing the obvious, which is hard times are just hard times, man. Hard times create hard men. Hard men create good times. Fuck you. Fuck you. No. Hard times are just hard times. In good news, I finally got my Jackula shirt after roughly 8 months. Wait, what? You had to wait that long? Did it get lost in the mail? What the hell happened? I feel like I owe you something. Bloomers had the world handed them on a plate and they smashed it to the ground and said, fuck them kids. Yeah, there's a bit of that going on, not gonna lie. You're still selling shirts, Jack? Well, yeah, I mean, like passively, but like I haven't done it actively for a little bit. Like you can still go to that site, whose name I've forgotten, and buy one. Maybe I should go back to selling them again, like more actively, so that when shit like this happens, I can actually do something about it. Dude bros are a fountain of deputy mouse sewage. Deepity mouse sewage. Well, it's yeah, I really hate that saying, because whether or not it's true, I think it's a douchey thing to say. You know, Oh. Merchandising with a real fucking money is made. What's a douchey thing to say? Oh, hard times create hard men. Hard men create good times create soft men. Soft men create hard times. I'm just like, oh, fuck up. Fuck a duck, man. You know, like, I also. Excuse me. You know, I I just find that to be like fucking ridiculous. Hard men create bad times too. Holy shit. Don't know if you noticed. But hard men also tend to abuse their children. You know, like, fuck you. You tell me what a hard man is. Hard to deal with, you know. Such a fucking. There's a lot of like common wisdom that I think is stupid. You know. Yeah, as if there weren't wimps during the Depression and World War II. You know. They claim they're in the process of moving their production facility and location, which caused a delay. This is back in February. Damn. I'm so sorry. That shit's supposed to be like 2 weeks. Yeah, Hitler and Stalin are both raised in the piece of patriarchal households. You know, what about that? I like damn apples. The worship of the strong man is, I'll say this, the worship of the strong man is a sign of weak times. Yeah, it gives you bring yourself up by your bootstraps, which fuck that shit. You know, we all need help. We all need a hand. But no, we're all supposed to get that hand and then we're all supposed to need it. We're all supposed to get it. And then we're supposed to deny that it ever happened. Fuck that. I just don't understand why we have to denigrate that shit. We have to denigrate kindness so much. You know. That's the thing that really pisses me off. You know, it's like, look, as much as I get annoyed by people saying kindness is the new punk, which I'm like, it just don't sound cool, right? But as much as I like don't like that, I really hate the opposite. I really hate people who make fun of people for being nice. Oh, I'm glad it was a nice surprise. Yay! Good. Victory. But yeah, I don't like being mean to people. I don't like people who are mean to people for being nice. Yeah, I think it's uncalled for. Yeah, it's uncalled for, and fuck you. You know, reading a book on the loneliness epidemic, at one points out it brings up it all started with the Reagan era. Yeah. When we really started to like essentially destroy communities. We started to destroy communities, particularly poor communities, and it turns out it's poor communities the culture really exists. If I woke up and found out my wife was actually a Ditto from Pokemon, what would you do? I'd be very confused, first of all. Probably a little upset because like a Ditto copies somebody. So what happened to the original? I'd have a lot of questions and I would demand answers. Like, had she been a Ditto the entire relationship? Or was she replaced at some point? Why did it do such a thing? Who's its owner? You know? Yeah, people were encouraged to be selfish and greedy. Oh, yeah. Without such spaces that bring us together, it's inevitable that we pull ever further apart. Yeah, oh, yeah, totally. Totally, that makes sense. Now, I'm assuming you mean Ditto as in the actual Pokemon. Because if they're like just like a mutant like Mystique, I could see an upside to that, you know? You know, I'd probably want to know why they were hiding from me. You know? I'd want to have a long conversation about that. But, like, for the most part, as long as they were, like, yeah, because I wouldn't. If they just had a mutant power, that'd be one thing. Cute, sentient, dumb creature. That would freak me out. That would freak me out. You know. Because there'd be so many questions I had. But if it is a dumb creature, then that means that I find it hard to believe I wouldn't notice. Because we have a lot of, like, long conversations that I feel would be beyond the ability of the Ditto. So that would mean that it would have to have happened fairly recently. That means my actual wife is still out there, and I gotta find out what the fuck happened. Before Reagan, just working was considered contributing to society. but only after your monetary wealth but after only your monetary wealth mattered. Oh, that's yeah. I could see that. I could see that. Oh, it's a gum creature. Oh, okay. I don't know how smart a ditto is. Speaking of Resident Evil 8 all over again. Well, I don't know. Is there a... Yeah. I don't know. Is there a big titty vampire lady involved? 10-foot big titty vampire lady? I can see an upside to that. Ditto was my wife's stunt poontang because you're too much for her? I doubt that very much. I mean, I'm freaky. I'm told I'm decent. It's been a while since I've been fucking the same person for 20 years. So I don't have a good sample size for what my proficiency is outside of that anymore. But I doubt I would be too freaky. Yeah, the book also mentions that public spaces like libraries, youth centers being defunded. Yeah. Yeah, I remember those used to be places you could go. They don't really exist anymore. Back in the 80s, those places were kind of important. Fucked up. You know, the part of the concept, part of the loneliness epidemic, and part of its function in our society is initially it was attempting to serve as a warning that we needed to change direction. Now I think it's just used as an excuse to tell people to hustle harder. You know, because I'll be honest, in my experience, having friends was never about hustling. You can't friend harder, like it doesn't work that way. Like that's the big lie. What I think you've got is a bunch of people who've been abused into staying at home. Do you think stranger danger also led to the loneliness epidemic? Oh yeah, totally. Because it was massively overstated. It was massively overstated. Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel just got fired. Spoiler? What the hell's this? Just naked cartoon girl? Or is that a ditto? Oh, I bet it's a ditto. I bet it's supposed to be a ditto. Fuck MAGA. Oh yeah, fuck MAGA. What'd he do? I don't know. Does it matter? I mean, I'm sure it does, but I mean, like, Ditto's transformed into a human. You made a Charlie Kirk joke? We need free speech. Oh my God, stop him talking. Yeah. I don't know. I don't watch Jimmy Kimmel, so I have no fucking idea. Well, you gotta understand the reason that they bitch about cancel culture because they just want to be able to use slurs, without social consequences. Realizing that has always been a thing. Or as I like to say, the watchdog of common decency. Is there no lower form of life? You know? All right, I'm gonna get myself. I'm gonna refill my coffee. I'll be right. Oh. Yeah. Fuck Charlie Kirk. I'm tired of hearing about him. Ah. Oh, Jack, my birthday. Oh, you got yourself a book of Alistair Crowley's trades. Yeah, they're interesting. They're interesting. You know, I Oh, posted a Monster Girl on the furry channel. Uh-oh. That... Okay, that's absolutely not furry. And the clavi. Nice. Oh, boy. When I've been driving around the city lately, I've been imagining myself carrying a heavy pistol. You know, like a Desert Eagle or something. Even though I'm pretty sure I couldn't fire a Desert Eagle properly. I don't know if I have the hand strength. Those things are pretty mighty. Yeah, like... Yeah, I mean, they're like 50 cal. I mean, they are impressive looking firearms, I'll say that. A Desi, a bit over the top there. Well, yeah. Well, this is me in my head, right? Because I'm going around. Because I go around. Part of the way I deal with the world right now is I imagine my cyberpunk self. And I feel like my cyberpunk self would definitely walk around with 50 cal. You know? You know, it's got a reasonably good magazine size. You know, it's intimidating looking. You know, which helps. I'd go for a revolver. Well, not for my cyberpunk self. Because revolver's only got 6 rounds. Because goodness, this is like a 500 Magnum all day, every day. Yeah, but it's only got, like I said, it's only got six. It's only got this, you know, the 500 Magnum only fucking it's only got 6 bullets. You know, for it's not a magazine. The barrel, and it only holds like 6 bullets in a barrel. You know, and it's cool, but I feel like I don't think I'm that good a shot, is what I'm saying. You know, I think I need like I think I need a few extra bullets. Like what's a standard Desert Eagle magazine? It's like 12. Hold on. No, I don't need. I'm not talking about the extended mag, just the magazine size itself. Oh, it only holds. Wait, the standard one only holds 7? Huh. Yeah, gas operated, wing, empty magazine, blah, 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 blah. Magazine capacity. Oh, okay. It literally depends on what size rounds you're firing. Huh. Yeah, you can load it with either 357, 44, or 50 cal. I probably wouldn't need the 50 cal, so yeah, okay, so I'd have 3 more rounds there. Yeah, Cyberpunk 2020, a Desert Eagle is not a gun you use, it's a statement. Yes. Yeah, well, it goes to show what I really know about guns. I didn't know you could load multiple types of ammunition to a Desert Eagle. Hey, Sun Wizard. What are we talking about tonight? Well, right now we're talking about our cyberpunk selves, and I was saying my cyberpunk self would probably have a Desert Eagle. It comes in different calibers. Oh, okay. Is that the gun itself comes in different calibers, or just the magazine? Yeah, let's check it out. Oh, okay. So yeah, 3 different models. Yeah, probably just to keep my fucking, like, for the sake of my fucking wrist, I'd probably have a 357 one. Right, Chris. That was my understanding too. I just didn't realize that, like, the Desert Eagle came in 3 calibers. Like, I'm used to, like, a gun having, like, a single caliber, and if it has a different caliber, you call it something else. Yeah. Choice of equipment is a statement on who your character is. Yeah, exactly. That's the idea. Like, brand names mean something in Cyberpunk. Your fashion sense means something, you know. Like a 9mm will how to put it? A 9mm will do ya. You know, like that'll do ya. But if we're talking cyberpunk, you go extra. Yeah, you go extra, you know. You know, and I think found a gun for me in shit posting. Uh-oh. Nice. Yep, I do appreciate the barrel shape of this gun. And let me see if I can show it to you. No. There we go. So I'll show you this picture here. There we go. What about the amnesty in Cyberpunk? What amnesty? What are you talking about? I'm not sure what you mean by the amnesty. Because I hear about amnesty and I'm like, if you're doing Cyberpunk without guns, I don't know if you're doing it right. The amnesty cyberpunk gun? Okay, hold on. Cyberpunk gun amnesty. Oh, that looks nice and excessive. Oh, it's in the video game. Oh. See, I was thinking the tabletop game. That's a game that exists in the video game, not the tabletop game. And it's the name of the specific gun. I mean, don't get me wrong. Well, see, okay. See, what kind of gun you want to wield depends on what kind of character you're playing in that video game. Like, if you got a high tech score, you really want to be, like, firing them tech weapons. You know, your fucking phaser guns. Yeah, I read the old Solo Fortune Handbook. I think I own it, actually. Let's see. Samurai Unicorn. Here's the thing. I could have sworn I... Huh. See, when did this... Oh, it's to be announced. Okay. Oh, okay. So, all right. I see what it's putting down. Yeah, that looks possibly good. I mean, I'll put it on the wish list and wait until I get the announcement that it's fucking like imminent. Oh boy. Okay, Kira Dragon. Jack, do you think Rob Zombie should have remade Texas Chainsaw Massacre instead of Halloween? Yeah, I do, actually. I do, actually. Yeah, I heard Robert Redford died. The old Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy is gone.
Swallow all my drugs so the penis unplugged. When the laws of entropy touch, you better dread the judge. Wiser men than us been crushed to find dust. When a fortune cookie dummy unfucked, I just shrug. A note like a broken electrical pole song. But a done, for the scum of the circuitry on the run. Haven't seen the sun with the naked eye much. So the neon is my god and it shine on the numb.
Yeah, I'm just really annoyed that like my the cyberpunk future apparently doesn't have enough cybernetic hotties in it. If I were given a Bowel Disruptor, what would you do with it? I'd just be Spider Jerusalem at that point. I mean, let's be real. Like, what did Spider Jerusalem do with it? Yeah, that's what I would do. Bowel Disruptor? Yeah, the Bowel Disruptor is a gun from a comic called Transmetropolitan. All right, Chris, you take care. Go for a little while longer at least. Hail Satan, Disco Inferno. I think it behooves everyone to wonder, to imagine who they would want to be in the dark future, because yeah, we're getting closer. What is everyone's Cyberpunk 2020 street fashion? Generics, leisure, business, urban flash, mil spec? Well, for me, it's urban flash. Hermit in the Wasteland bearing trespassers. I like it. It's a statement, you know. Oh man. Nah, I wouldn't be Spire Jerusalem with titties. I would want there to be titties around me, you know, but I don't think I would need them. Yeah, at that we're not like at that point the better question is what would you be like if you were transsexual in the dark future? So that might be the direction that you're looking at, you're going in. Oh, the reference to the fan art feud I had. And for some reason, an earring. Yeah. Oh, okay. Right. Oh, God, that was so long ago. I forgot. Yeah. CP 2020 and Vampire Masquerade games about vibes. Oh, Vampire Masquerade definitely is game about vibes. Definitely games about vibes. You know, I'm hoping Babylon will also have like heavy vibes. Yeah. I started working on my like custom Shadowrun rules again because like for some reason every time I start I need to start thinking. For some reason, for me, every fucking major TTRPG project starts that way. And I'm kind of looking for what I'm going to do after Babylon or if Babylon fails to take off. So I went back to that. And I always go back to square one. You know, it's just because I love that setting so much. I love the Shadowrun setting. And I think it could benefit from a little bit more of the cyberpunk. Oh, you want that techno wolf mask? Well, I mean, that's part of it. That would be part of it. There you go. Yeah, so I always just go back to Shadowrun whenever I need, like, game design inspiration. You know, even though there's a frustration I have, which is I'm like, I'll never get these to be I may never get these to be the official rules, but I think they should be. You know, 007 is getting a new video game. Cool. Anyone catch Tenet? I know it's 5 years old, but the mechanics of it are interesting. I have not. All I'm finding is like an old Steam game. Is that the one you're talking about? Eat Cyberpunk in space? In what capacity, man? Like, that's an important thing, because, like, once you add the in space as opposed to there just is space, like, you risk losing what's cyberpunk about cyberpunk and just becoming science fiction. Oh, you meant the movie. Oh, the time travel mechanic. Oh, okay. You know what? I never saw it. Yeah, The Expanse did get a good TTRPG adaptation. Frankenstein in space is, well, see, that movie could be awesome. But I don't need Frankenstein in space to be cyberpunk. Yeah, cyberpunk's really about being a rebel in a very depressingly science fiction, in a science fiction world that is depressingly so. Like, is depressingly science fiction. Isn't that just Shadowrun though, Delta Oracle? Yeah. That's basically Shadowrun. Okay, here's the thing about Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is in my opinion, almost always about the urban. It's almost always about the city. The artifice of man. You never played Shadowrun, so you don't know? Well, yeah, that's Coruscant may be built for Cyberpunk, but Star Wars is not. Like, Star Wars is not. It The division between good and evil is too important to Star Wars. As gray as the morality of something like Andor gets, there is still good and evil. As, like, spiritual forces. Yeah. Now, the downside of Shadowrun is the tabletop Shadowrun game is that the rules are not great. I find them to be really I find them to be overly complex and clunky, which is why I always go back and redo them. That's why I always go back and redo it, because it's this amazing setting that is just begging for a decent game system. Warhammer 40k Necromunda, that's closer. Like, that's closer, but not quite the same. Yeah, the rules to Shadowrun's a long-standing joke. Yeah. Yeah, just the adventures. Yeah, the adventures in Seattle alone are really great. You know. Well, here's the thing. Cyberpunk can work on interstellar level, but once you introduce space travel, it starts to introduce, it begs to have elements introduced that kind of make the depressing world of cyberpunk less depressing, and it loses its dark edge. You know, no, there's not going to be a gnomish pygmy war rhino because, like, there are no gnomes, or there are no gnomes as you understand them. Babylon, first and foremost, is an urban horror game. You know, there is only so whimsical that it gets. Yeah, Blade Runner has, the world of Blade Runner has space travel, but they never go there. Yeah, space is freeing. Space is the place you always want to get to. But no one ever does, and it turns out that there's an entire slave race that makes the colonies, the off-world colonies, possible. Those are the replicants. Yeah. Like, you can have cybernetics, but like cyberpunk is a little bit different. Now everyone's like, space is the place. The summon bimbo spell. Nah, yeah, I mean that works at fantasy game. Yeah, you have to abandon all hope in making a cyberpunk setting because all the hope has to come from the characters. Could Cowboy be? Cowboy Bebop is cyberpunk-ish. You know, but note how they did that. Space also kind of sucks. How's mine doing tonight, Jack? My mood. Well, my mind is doing fine. My mood is a little up and down. You know. You know, like, yeah, Cowboy Bebop is cyberpunk-ish. But like I said, remember that in Cowboy Bebop, space also is ass. Yeah, also to me, like, it ain't cyberpunk unless there's a gigantic mega corporation that you're fighting against. This Mr. Stud implant is nice and big, but are you ready for the Mr. Head? Like one of the oh god, my favorite line about Mr. Stud in the Cyberpunk 77 video game is, "Don't waste your money on therapy. Only Mr. Stud can save your marriage." Oh. Can the government be a stand-in? Maybe. It depends on how you do it. In Babylon, can you control animals? And if so, can you control 20,000 pigeons? You can talk to animals. You can try to convince them to do things for you. You cannot, most animals you cannot just control. Unless you're a very specific type of creature. Like, for example, like vampires can summon some. If you take the right ability, a vampire can summon rats. Can't tell I have a list of sexual implants. Well, one of the things I really want to explore, I want to explore, I'm exploring it a bit in Babylon, but I want to explore it more in a cyberpunk setting. So I'm putting it into the Shadowrun redo I'm doing this round, and it's not even a rule thing. It's all setting information, which is I want to talk about transsexuality. I want to talk about like people who change their gender. It seems like we should be exploring this in fiction a lot heavier. And we're doing reasonably well with some of the modern dramas that deal with it. But there aren't a lot of trans heroes. And I think cyberpunk is a genre where they would most easily fit. Because one of the things about being transsexual is the fear of the transsexual, as far as the conservatives are concerned, is somewhat attached to their fear of urban areas. I mean, Babylon's going to deal with this pretty heavily because, like, the fear of urban areas is a big part of Babylon. A big part. But in that setting, everyone's a monster. So it's a different vibe. Whereas if you did it in a cyberpunk setting, the vibe changes. That's a vibe I want to explore. Oh yeah, there's a lot of overlap there. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of trans people are in the there are a lot of trans people in the TTRPG space. For reasons that are fairly understandable when you think about it. Because when you think about it, like, to them, they had, a lot of them had to constantly put on the act of being cisgender, and they want a space where they don't have to do that. And while you could say, well, why don't you just play a girl? It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Besides, having a world where you are a transgender elf street samurai is pretty cool. Yeah, there's a lot of fear of urban areas and what they can do and the things that hide there. But the horror is more attached to the human experience because that's what cities are. Cities are, yeah, the Venn diagram of trans players and changeling players is a single circle. Hey, Jack could use a seductive spell on a mimic in Babylon. Well, there are no mimics as mimics are understood in D&D. And going with Babylon's, like, ethos, why would you use a spell? Yeah, urban areas are the human experience unfiltered. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Because it's an environment we created for ourselves. Whether or not you think that's a good environment or it gets the job done is one thing, but like, it is an environment we created for ourselves. Is it fair that cyberpunk meditates on the fear of urban places while folklore meditates on the fear of the countryside? Yeah, I would say that's very fair. I'd say that's very accurate. Yeah, I would say that's super accurate. You know, Babylon needs a focus group of trans players? No, I have my trans friends. Doesn't need a focus group. It needs the people I talk to about it. Because one of the things that I've discovered is that in the world of trans representation in fiction, there's a huge split. There's a huge split on a lot of issues concerning that. Not the least of which is, what is the power fantasy really? What are the aspects of being trans femme or trans mask that is cool, that feels cool. Because when you're talking about a cyberpunky kind of setting or any sort of punky setting, how something is cool is super important. Like, I think we can all appreciate the fact that because Shadowrun has orcs, and they use orcs as the stand-in for, well, let's face it, being black. They're able to talk about what's cool about being black, while also dancing around the potential fallout of bringing it up as a group of largely white people. It's one of the powers of fiction, is to be able to do that kind of thing. Ever thought of inviting Lewis to do a live stream of Babylon? I am probably going to invite him to do so. I don't know if I'll be very upfront with him about what kind of game it is. You know, that's very violent. They tend to be very violent games. They tend to be somewhat sexual as well. You know, they're definitely like games with R ratings. I think it's the sort of thing that he would have some interest in, but I don't know if he would want to play it on a live play. But I'll ask. About Crash Thompson? I haven't spoken to Crash Thompson in a while. He might be a good candidate. Yeah. I like Crash. Yeah, when I did... One of the games I'm thinking of doing that's set in the Babylon universe, but is not that game, is right now we're calling it Woods Dark and Deep. Where it's folk and wilderness horror. There are a couple of things that we do know. It's going to be the first game that we do where you might actually just be a human. You know, it's definitely going to be the game where we like combine mortals and the Nightkin into what's going on. It will most likely have a lot to do with what we term the Fae. You know, while they do appear in Babylon, like we would in a folk horror or a wilderness horror atmosphere, we'll have a bit more space to talk about that specifically. Oh, thank you, Zeke the Ghoul. Yeah, it should be, with luck, Kickstarter will go live in October. Does Babylon have any inspiration from Nightmare Creatures? It's in there. You know, it's in there. You know, it's not as intrinsic to the mix as a lot of other things, but it's in there. Yeah, thank you, Zeke. You know, like there's always there was the possibility of doing a Babylon game set in like Victorian London, but like I don't know. I think that kind of shit is played out. You want to try TTRPG, but I work nights and weekends. Oh, rather punch kick than do algebra. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Victorian settings are kind of cool, but like I feel like that's played out. Roaring 20s? No, that doesn't excite me as much. Here's a Babylon question, Jack. Who's a Nazi be in the game because Hitler was so obsessed with the occult? Hold on. Oh. No, there's a whole history about Babylon fighting the Nazis in the history. The Nightkin of Babylon and anything Nazi related do not get along. They do not get along. They do not get along. The Nightkin of Babylon love to kill and eat Nazis. Yeah, did he actually find people that turned his people into night creatures? They tried to use the Nightkin to create like supernatural soldiers. That didn't go well. It did not go well. It didn't get nowhere, but it did not obviously get them the sort of victory that they wanted. We have to fight zombie Nazis. You might have to fight Nazi angels. Nazis are your enemies. Because they are an aspect of and I definitely want to include them because I feel like they are an aspect of modern war. Like the resurfacing of fucking fascism is part of the horror milieu. It's part of the milieu that it's supposed to be the modern world, so that's something that has to be dealt with. And I didn't want to not deal with it because that felt pussy. You feel like yeah, hitting it on its head is sometimes the best way to do it. Yeah, handling it head on. Yeah. There are Nazi monsters. You know, you'll have to, you'll be fighting them. There is a specific type of Nazi monster, which is called the White. I'll give that a minute. So it's like, I get it. You know? Wahaha. All right, let's see. Where are we? Oh, man, it's been 2 hours. Imagine I don't see apes in Zootopias because the vision of World War II had the apes as fast as trying to unalive and enslave everyone. Oh, Jesus. Oh, are there not gorillas and chimps in Zootopia? Oh, thank you for liking the Trick or Treat video. I really enjoyed making that one, actually. Out of curiosity, how do you decide to include history like that into your stories? It's whatever strikes my fancy. Like, do I think it's cool to include? Does it have a place? Can I give it a place? You know. You know, but really, it's just whatever strikes my fancy. Got something in my eye. And I think there it is. I mentioned part of plot of vampire. Oh, Filipino telenovela. Ooh. Well, yeah, like one of the things I like about Asian soap operas, and they're not as afraid of incorporating like local folklore and creatures, you know, because when you're Asian, like the presence of those things is just sort of assumed. Like it's much more assumed. There's much less of a hard division between science and mythology, at least as far as fiction is concerned. You know, they take a lot more genre liberties with that shit. Yeah, and the local gods never really died in Asia. Like, I think the closest you come is like China. You know, because they had the communist revolution. But I mean, even then, I mean, yeah. You know, one of the things that's kind of impressive about Chinese culture is that it lasted deliberate destruction. You know, to say nothing of the other Asian countries where they didn't do that. Oh yeah, Shinto Sohi and Sohi, yeah, like they're very deep. You know, that's why their folklore always revolves around it. Yeah, weren't the Sohi, weren't they the Yellow Turbans? Yeah, they're the Buddhist monk warriors. Yeah. We try to give him the cold shoulder in the West, you know, like. You know, like. Yeah. It's Asian cultures have their equivalent of atheism. But, but it carries a different connotation, you know, because being purely secular is not considered bad. You know, it's not generally considered a bad thing. It might be considered a foolish thing, but it's not really considered evil. You know, whereas to Christianity, like, atheism is evil. You know. You know, and it's a strange difference. You know, I can't really, it's really hard to explain the difference. You know, the closest I can come is to say, like, atheism would be to a religious person in Asia would be considered foolish. but it wouldn't be considered evil. You know, and I think it has to do a lot with the fact that Asian cultures don't have this big focus on apostasy like the Abrahamic religions do. You know, like Christianity, Judaism, and Islam have a big focus on apostasy. Whereas the Asian cultures, it's not as big a deal. I mean, it can be, but it can, but like that's considered, it's considered weird. Like if you're focused on apostasy, you're like a cult, you know. They lack sect wars? No, that's not true. That's not true. You know, there have been plenty of fucking sectarian wars in Asia. Plenty of them. Oh no, there were giant wars. There were totally wars. They're totally. It's just that I don't know how to say it. Somehow they got over it. Yeah. Agnosticism is normal. Yeah, like agnosticism is in Asia is considered pretty normal. Yeah, because outright atheism is like agnosticism is like, well, you'll believe it when you see it. Okay, yeah, all right, yeah, fine. You know, like once again, it might be considered foolish, but it's not generally considered evil. Yeah, and it's far more. Yeah, agnosticism is far more common than atheism. You know, just in general, but among Asians in particular. You know, it's very hard to explain. It's hard to explain to Westerners. Yeah, and the whole like wars over religion, like that's also a weird subject in Asia. You know, there's a little bit of the we did that. Oh yeah, wars over religion. Yeah, we did that. You know, and even though that violence still exists, like, hi Massimo, go ahead, lick the bowl. Yeah, even though it's still a thing that happens, like religious violence does happen, but when it does, it's usually seen as something a cult does. I don't know how else to explain it. Like in the modern like kind of Asian mind, like religious wars are something cults do. You know, pay no attention to Tibet and China. You know, like I don't know how else to explain it. Sky cake wars never really went as far as they did in the West. No, that's not true. That's not true. There are plenty of religious wars in Asia. Plenty of them. Plenty of them. But I think you know, for one example is the Yellow Turban Rebellion. That was a big one. You know, there are plenty of big wars that happened in Asia that were basically, you don't believe that thing we believe, so fuck you. Like, that happened. You know, the history of Asia is full of that stuff. You know, at least, you know, just as much as Western history is full of that stuff. But for some reason, in the modern era, it's just not considered as big a deal. Yeah, some will do and participate in Christian settings, but have dissociated from the concept of having faith, but I don't think many would deny the existence of the supernatural. Yeah. That's another funny thing about modern Asians. You know, it seems, whether or not you believe in it is one thing, but to wholly deny its existence is like kind of another. You know, I don't know how to explain it. It's a very strange cognitive. It's a particular type of cognitive dissonance. You know, it's like, no, I don't believe in that thing, so that doesn't exist. Well, I don't know about that. You know, you know, the difference between believing in something and denying it, not believing in something, and believing something doesn't exist. You know, it's very strange. It's very strange. Well, one of the things about a lot of Asian countries is that faith is part of everyday life. It has its place in everyday life. Probably the best way to put it is one of the differences between Christianity specifically and religions in Asia is that they are not specifically geared towards controlling workers. It has additional purposes. And as far as controlling workers, military force and money get you better results. And a lot of Asian cultures, particularly the Chinese, are wickedly pragmatic that way. Yeah, Chinese emperors have had whole schools of thought. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So wars, religious wars did happen. Wars over religion totally fucking happened in Asia. You know, at least as much as it's, you know, pretty much to the extent that they happened in Europe. But despite that, modern Asian cultures are not focused on apostasy. because not believing in something is kind of assumed to carry its own consequence. It doesn't need punishing. At least not the way it does in the West. Yeah, in Thailand, the most common religious thing is to bow when you pass by a spirit house. Yeah, that's what I mean by, like, in Asia, like, your religious beliefs are kind of part of your everyday existence. So much so that people often, like, forget to pay attention to them. They just do them. It's the way the different way that those regions that these regions deal with religion is very interesting. It's a they're very, very different ways of interfacing with religion. You know, like hell, like Jay Tilden could back me up on this. It even extends to urban areas. You'll see a lot of religious shit in urban areas. Like being practiced right there on the streets. Can you really call it a religious war if it does produce a millennia of generational harm? Well, that's any war. And it did create, like, generations of harm. It does, no matter how you slice it. Ask the Tibetans. To ask them how that's going. Not good, not so great for them. They're being religiously persecuted. The Uyghurs, same thing. I think it's because maybe in the East, religion itself is a little less authoritarian. It's the only thing I can come up with. Not that it isn't. It's a religion. It's going to be somewhat authoritarian. But the authoritarianism seems to is more resolved for the clergy. The consequences of apostasy seem to be has more to do with the clergy than it does with the layman. Yeah. You see monks collecting alms constantly. So no pope declaring holy wars. Well, the only pope that declares holy wars is the very few would be the CCP. Which doesn't really have a pope as a chairman, was a little different. But Yeah, there is an understanding that the clergy needs to be more holy than the layman. You know, like, America lets its authority figures get away with more than it lets the average citizen get away with. That's just on a cultural level. You know, that is entirely cultural. You know, why do we forgive the cop that kills somebody more easily than a normal person? Like, think about that. You know, and the answer is because we allow them to murder in the name of the law. So it becomes this, like, this cycle in our culture. It's like, oh no, we need to let them kill people so that they can kill people in our name. Wait a minute. Well, what if we didn't? Yeah, it's expected that leaders honor their people a little bit more in Asia. You know, and I think that has to do with the fact that, like, in a lot of Asian countries, like even Japan still has this. There is still well, they could just rise up and kill us. Yeah, CEOs taking pay cuts in Japan. Yeah. You know, that's all to assuage the public. That's all to assuage the public. You know, if a CEO does badly in Japan, he doesn't get a raise, he has to beg. He is expected to beg. Now, don't get me wrong, they're just as psychopathic as any other CEOs. But the societal expectation is that they beg. Would I consider the Boxer Rebellion a religious war? Yeah, kind of, yeah. It kind of was. But it's difficult to say, give an absolute on that one, because that was a war based on European imperialism. So it wasn't just the religious aspect that it wasn't just the religious aspect of the West that they were fighting against. They were literally fighting against imperialism. Yeah, if you tank the economy of China, you get executed. Like 2008, they executed people. Yeah, Abe's murder, where guy killed the fucking prime minister, and then the fucking Japanese people were like, yeah, that's fair. You know, like that's insane to the Western mind. Yeah, but it is a sort of form of collectivism. You know, there is that feeling of like, oh, well, we can just fucking kill them. That happens in Asian countries, and they have plenty of examples of it. Even to this day. Plenty of examples of, well, we could just kill them. They can't kill us all. They literally can't. We can kill all of them. They cannot kill all of us. Oh, what was the U.S. doing during the Boxer Rebellion? Oh, I think propping up Western imperialism. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It was pretty much propping up Western imperialism. Although mainly Europe. Mainly Europe. Like, America was a little bit more of a bit player in that one. Not that we had nothing to do with it. We totally did. Yeah. There it was. There it is. We were helping the Germans. We were helping the Germans. Yeah, the massacre of missionaries and Chinese Christians. Yep. There was that. The European, I don't know. That I don't know. I'd have to check on that. If the U.S. controlled the Philippines at that point, it could be. It could be where we gain control in that area. Hell, we're still there. That's why there are all those U.S. Navy bases in the Philippines. But I just don't remember if the Boxer Rebellion is when that started. I would have to go way more into the history of the Boxer Rebellion than I can recall. Just or easily look up. The U.S. would eventually get the Philippines. The Philippine-American War was in 1900. Yeah, Boxer Rebellion was only a few years before that, so... Yeah, it wasn't long before that. Actually, might have been around. That might have been actually part of the fucking Boxer Rebellion. Actually, you might be completely right. Yeah, if the Philippine-American War was in 1900, the Boxer Rebellion didn't end until 1901. Yeah, might have. I think it happened at the same time. Wait, might have happened at the same time? No, it absolutely happened at the same time. Whew. Let's see, who was president in 1900? No. 1899. William McKinley. Yeah, McKinley was president during the Boxer Rebellion and the American Filipino War. Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so our question we ask of all our... I don't know if I've asked you directly. But something we tend to ask most of our Filipino brothers and sisters. 1, do you have the giant fork and spoon in your kitchen? And 2, what's that about? If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's fine. You've asked this, and not in my house at least. Yeah, well, if you ever find out the reason, please tell me. Because it's a thing. Oh, you like the answer my friend had? Because Filipinos used to be giants? Oh, so that was a pretty good answer. All right. It's been 2.5 hours. 2 hours, 35 minutes, and 25 seconds as of now. I think it's probably time for me to retire. Retreat to the coffin, as it were. But don't worry, I shall be back as soon as I can. Your gut says it probably has to do with ensuring prosperity. Yeah. That's what everyone is. That's what everyone seems to assume. You know, which it probably is. It's just one of those like, It wasn't even. I didn't even notice it until someone pointed it out. You know. Well, until next time, everybody, which should be, not too distant future. I'm not planning on dying anytime soon, knock wood. But until then, Ave Satanas, Disco Inferno. Remember, Satan and I love you all very much. So until next time, hail Satan, and I will see you in